Well, hello everyone. I'm recording this particular podcast in Valentine's Day week, and I wanted to mention that because the subject today is people who really get you. I'm not talking about the people I referred to last week who have no idea who you are and come up with the dumbest ideas that don't work and make you feel like an idiot. I'm talking about people who just somehow understand. They know what's going on. And in my career, I had an opportunity to meet a couple of people like that. One of them was a director who really just knew. And one day she came to me and she said, "I've got a show for you. It's absolutely perfect. I mean, it could have been written for you." The author of the show was a man named Willie Russell. And the name of the show is Shirley Valentine. Now, Shirley Valentine was a woman in her early 40s whose life had just kind of hit a wall. In fact, most of the time she talked to the wall, the kitchen wall, instead of anyone else, because really nobody was listening. And the reason that Shirley and I seemed to click was because she was from Manchester, and my grandparents were from Manchester. And when I started rehearsing the show, I discovered that I actually had the accent. It had just disappeared for a long time. But the first time I picked up that script and I said, "Shirley Valentine," the next thing I knew, I was talking just like her. So, given that it's Valentine's Day week, I thought I would give you a little excerpt. It's one of my favorite parts in the show. Shirley comes on stage and she says, "Do you know, one of the things I like best about being the age I am is sex." "Oh, stop it. I know what you're thinking. Pathetic old thing. She's probably grateful anyone looks at her sideways anymore." But that's not it at all. You see, when I was a girl, we hadn't the faintest idea about sex. Not like today. Because it's different for kids today, isn't it? No, I don't mean about the disease thing. That's not sex. That's punishment. No, I'm talking about the whole point of the exercise. The orgasm. It's funny, isn't it? Sex is a thing you're supposed to do in mixed company, but you can't talk about it. You see, the difference between sex then and sex now is that this generation knows all about the clitoris. Yeah, but when I was a girl, we'd never even heard of it. In those days, everyone thought sex was just a case of in, out, shake it all about, the stars light up the sky and the earth would tremble. The only thing that ever trembled for me was the headboard on the bed. But you see, the clitoris hadn't been discovered then. I mean, obviously it was always there, like penicillin in America. It was there, but it's not really there until it's been discovered, is it? Maybe I should have married Christopher Columbus. I was nearly 30, when I first read about the clitoris. And it was dead interesting. Apparently, it was all Freud's fault. Sigmund. You see, what happened was, Freud had said that there were two ways for a woman to have an orgasm, and the main one could only be caused by having the muscles inside stimulated. And the other orgasm, it was supposed to be like an inferior second-rate one. It was caused by the little clitoris. Now, you see, that's what Freud had said, and everyone believed him. Well, you would, wouldn't you? I mean, Sigmund Freud. Who's going to argue with Sigmund Freud? I mean, say you're just standing at the bus stop, you and Sigmund Freud, and the bus comes along, and you say to him, "Excuse me, does this bus go to Fazakerley?" And he nods sagely and says, "Yes, this is one of the buses that goes to Fazakerley." Well, you'd get on the bus, wouldn't you? But I'll tell you what, you'd be bloody lucky if you ever reached Fazakerley, 'cause Freud got it wrong. There's only one bus that goes to Fazakerley, and that's the clitoris bus. But you see, everyone believed him, and they've been giving out the wrong information for years. Like they did with spinach.